here with the K&A Gamers, and I'm here with Optimistic Zeke once again for BloodBorne.
What's going on, everyone? Optimistic Zeke here. Welcome to another co-stream edition of Gaming with Optimus Live. This is entry number 34. I'm here again with Hark from K&A Gamers. How's it going, dude?
It's going great, man.
Okay, so if you all remember on the last co-stream, we're gonna play this game. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you remember what happened the last time, in the process of learning how to play it, I get myself killed, run into a bunch of demented dogs that look like Scooby-Doo's demented cousins, get killed again, flip some shit, try to look for dead man, pissed madman's knowledge, whatever, died over again, ran into a bunch of mutant crows, died again, met Quasimodo's demented cousin, got myself killed again, and so forth and so forth. So what's gonna happen now? Who knows?
Probably more of the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trapped in the sewers with giant rats.
And also forgot to recap that a good time was had by all.
Yep. Oh, I just found some madman's knowledge. I know where one is now. It's just gonna take some fighting to get there. So this first area that we're in right now, this is basically the devs asking whether or not you're going to pussy out from this game. They throw everything at you in this first area, and if you beat it, you're prepared for the rest of the game.
So this is like a endurance test.
Yeah. So I think the goal of this stream, like last stream went for a long time, I think the goal for this stream is we're going to get you another bell, and that bell will allow you to get into my world. Then if you die in my world, you don't lose anything, because you're just a cooperator. So I'm thinking that would be good practice to come into my world.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed when playing with Austin is that when we do things co-op, it's double the souls or double the blood echoes, because we do each other's worlds right after the other.
And
so then we get double XP.
And also double the frustration.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yay, I died! Isn't that great?
So one thing that I found some more madman's knowledge. Wow, there's a lot of it around here. So one thing that is important about each weapon is that R1 are your standard attacks.
Uh-huh.
And R2 are your heavy attacks.
Okay, R1 is standard, R2 is heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. And holding R2, usually I don't even use a standard R2. what I do is I hold down R2, and that fully charges for a lethal attack that does a lot of damage and can actually put people down on the ground.
Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
Nice.
The one big difference that I've noticed between Dark Souls and this is that in this, if you get off the first hit on lower enemies, most of the time you're gonna win, because then they don't get the chance to attack. In Dark Souls, it's more like you want to wait for them to attack, and then while they're overreached with an attack, that's when you hit them. But in this, it's all about being aggressive. So now you may notice things, it's kind of easier now. Because now you got some more attacks you can work with.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, if you see like little glowing orbs above like a dead body or something.
Yeah, search them. I found that out.
Yeah. You'll also find these things called bloodstones, like bloodstone shards. Those things you can use in the hunter's dream to upgrade your weapons.
Okay.
So like your weapons will then get more damage out of them. And I think it's inside the workshop up the stairs in the hunter's dream. There's like
Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! Damn it! I told you not to kill me!
Oh well, he'd just go, you know. He'd just be like, oh, he doesn't want me to kill him, so I guess I just won't do it. Yeah, for anyone watching, this is definitely an unplanned stream. I just got on here and just started doing BloodBorne again, just because I'm getting re-addicted to it after playing it with Optimus before. And I saw he was online, and I'm like, hey, let's do another co-stream.
Shoot, all I was doing was catching up on videos from the Nostalgia Critic on YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw he did a video on that Aragon movie, and I remember that movie. Because I had read the books.
He also had a cameo appearance in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Uh-huh.
I believe it or not, I actually have that on Blu-ray. Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! Damn it! Doesn't anybody ever listen? I told you all not to kill me! Quit killing me!
Well, remember what we said in the last stream, that they're pretty much all just high and they're out of their minds like Shaggy.
Yeah, yeah,
so
people.
I have no idea what's going on.
Hell, people that are watching this are probably thinking I'm out of my mind right now. Just the way that I'm screaming at my TV. Yeah, I found a pebble. It's either cocoa or fruity.
I rarely use pebbles, But you know what? That might actually be useful, because when you use a pebble, you throw it at someone, and you can actually lure them away from a crowd.
Well, I don't know how useful of a weapon they are here, but as a kid, it was the perfect breakfast cereal.
I don't know, I like things like Count Chocula and stuff like that.
Oh, that was the shit.
Yeah, it was.
That was the shit. I will not get killed. 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 Damn it! I got killed! Poor Hark, he's probably going deaf by my loud mouth right now.
I'm used to it. I got Austin to contend with. I kind of screwed you over last stream because I had you summon me with your only madman's knowledge.
Yeah.
So
It was
I could have had you bought that other bell, and then you could join me on like infinitely.
Yeah. Hey, neither one of us knew what we were doing. Yeah. Well, neither one of us knew what we were doing back then.
Yeah. However, once you get pretty good at killing all those villagers, I know where some madman's knowledge is.
Yeah, it's almost like Gauntlet.
Also, another thing, remember that circle allows you to dodge. You want to know how to do that for most of the game.
Yeah.
The one thing that's really helped me with games like this is that even after I've beaten it, most of the time I'm still like really bad at it. So the thing is that I actually watch other people play it, and I learn so much just from watching someone else play something. And I get really good at the game. That's how I am with most games. Like, I do World of Tanks a lot for like, I've been doing it for like 4 years now. And I watch all these different Twitch streamers play it. And just watching them use in the game mechanics and what you can get away with and all this stuff. And it just, it helps out so much. And I just get so good at these games by doing that. So for your end, people can watch someone going into the game not knowing what the heck's going on or anything. And for my end, you can see what it looks like when you've been a veteran of the game now for a while. I think that's a cool
Now my end,
there.
and now my man, and people can hear me yell like a complete maniac at my TV.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've been keeping completely quiet about what's going on, what the story is, why you're here, and where you need to go. I'm letting you figure that out on your own.
Gee, you're a pal! With friends like you, who needs enemies?
Well, I try not to be a complete backseat gamer, you know. I like to let people figure it out.
Nope, we don't want that! It's like having a backseat drivers when you're going for your driver's license.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Man, this hunter's axe, like for a starter weapon, I always heard people say it's an amazing weapon, but I never knew it could be this good. The saw cleaver is also really good. I think that was my starter weapon for my first playthrough, and I used to use that a while. So, I'll divulge a little information to you to try and make it easier. There is a gate on the left of the lamp that you respawn at, which should be like the central Yarnum lamp up the ladder. There's a gate you can't open on the left. If you find a way around the bridge, across the bridge, instead of running all the way down the bridge to that first boss that wrecked you before,
yeah,
there's actually another path down the bridge that goes into a building, and then around that area is the other side of that gate. And then you open the gate, and it's a shortcut. These games are known for their shortcuts.
Speaking of shortcuts, I'm getting cut right now! Yeah, I got cut good!
Well, this franchise is known for the phrase, get good.
Yeah.
I always find that hilarious, that in like Dark Souls and BloodBorne, the game itself tries to be so serious, but then all the players and all the community like says, well, I know what you need to do here, you just need to get good. And just all this hilarious
okay, stuff. That's easier said than done.
Yeah, I know, that's the point. It's like, okay, how does that help me?
Does not open from the other side. Okay, thanks for that useful information.
Big axe guy got me.
Big axe guy? What the fuck does he think you are, a fucking tree?
Well, he chopped me like one. He used his spin to win move. Oh, another thing, if you use the lamp to go back to the hunter's dream,
yeah,
the little guys in like these little bird baths, they'll be selling you new items, I think. So like they'll have a new weapon, and they'll have things like blood vials and bullets and stuff that they'll sell. And since you can't level up, you don't need your XP for leveling. You can use them on like different consumables and stuff. You can get Molotov cocktails to throw and stuff like that, and those sometimes help out. Or you can drink them, you know.
Yummy!
You may need a few cocktails after this. This area really everything at you. Every type of enemy, every type of boss. The two bosses are like the main enemy types you'll fight in the game. And then all this like different branching paths and shortcuts and doors and gates. Like they're really showing you everything. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just going around the starter area. Just going around and collecting stuff. People have said that BloodBorne is the truest horror game you can get, just because there's like such high stakes that if you die, you drop all of your XP that you've earned and stuff like that. You're filled with dread at the prospect of having to go someplace, and then you realize, oh no, all those enemies are back, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely no Castlevania. I know, not the greatest example.
I think actually, in sort of theme, it's definitely related to Castlevania. Except instead of vampires, there's a lot more going on.
Actually, I take it back. This BloodBorne could probably pass as a somewhat modern-day version of Simon's Quest.
Especially if you have like a whip weapon.
Well, newsflash, I died.
And what have you learned? That death is
Nothing!
painful. Well, I think the only sound bit of advice I could give you for all those different villagers is basically, if they're in a group, just try to take them out when they're separated. That's really all I can say.
Yeah.
That's the thing I don't like about Dark Souls 2. Like, you were watching Dark Souls 2, me streaming that, and it's like, even the bosses are just crowds of enemies. And I just hate how they do that, where they just put so many enemies next to each other, and they're like, hey, it's harder than all the other games, because we made it harder, because there's more of them. It just that isn't good game design. In this, though, it makes sense. It makes sense why there's a lot of people here. This is a city. Everyone's out on the hunt, hunting for beasts. But unfortunately, they haven't noticed that they're becoming the beasts. And now it's time for the true hunters to come out and kill them.
Oh! We're out hunting for beasts? I thought we were out hunting for wabbits.
Those two. Well, I'm sure you've seen that rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They're all beasts, trust me.
I was actually trying to make a Looney Tunes reference.
I know.
Okay, I will not. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. Well, so much for wishful thinking. All right.
Alright, I've made it to the next boss in the starter area. I won't fight him yet. But I've cleared out their foes, I think. So one thing that you want to focus on right now is getting whatever weapon you like using upgraded. Look around for the...
Alright.
Sometimes it's just a nice rest to just go back to the hunter's dream, and then you just look around and see what you can do there. There's also really good messages hidden around on the ground that like gives you hints on what you can do. Yeah, I think I've cleared out everything. Maybe not. I think I might have missed one thing. If you feel like you've gotten to the point where you're not progressing, try using something differently. Like maybe a new weapon if you find one, or a different strategy. I'm being trampled by a giant thing. Uh-oh. Also, another thing that I should mention, if you find these things called cold blood dews, those are things that you can use and you break them and they give you like, they're basically just like an experience bundle where when you use them you get a whole bunch of points that you can spend. So it's kind of like the safe version of, instead of killing an enemy and getting the XP, you have it in your inventory to use at any time to give you some extras. So it's handy if you like don't have enough experience to level up, then you can just use one and then it'll put you over enough to level up and stuff like that. So I'll let you know where those Madman Knowledge Skulls are. They're actually in a building, down at the bottom of a building, but they're all the way on the other side of this area. And I think your starting point of where to find it is probably on the bridge. So practice fighting your way up to the bridge.
Alright.
I mean, you could sprint past everyone, but the thing is that then you still wouldn't know how to fight them better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head back to the dream and actually see if I can level up or upgrade anything.
Alright. I just got out of the dream. I'm going back to where I was before. I'm going to try to get some more practice fighting more of these enemies. Gauntlet
Alrighty.
style. Gauntlet style. Huh. One of you was a meat butcher in a previous life. What, he attacked me with a meat cleaver?
Well, he probably was a butcher who just decided to join everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, probably decided he needed a new profession. Kinda reminds me of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, keep going, keep going. Okay, that didn't go over very well. Hell, with the way this is going, I'm probably putting everybody to sleep.
You won't even realize how good you'll get at this game. I've seen people who aren't even gamers get really good at this game. Of course, they're absolutely horrible starting out. Everyone is, but it's just so amazing to see them actually just do so well at it by the end. So, I mean, and you've got experience of gaming, so it would take you even less time.
Yeah, you would think, but it seems like it's taking a hell of a lot more than it should.
Well, that's the feeling I got when I first started playing these games. I'm like, man, I should be better at this. But then it's like, it's really weird how it wants you to think. Eventually it just clicks. And then you get really good at it. But for everyone, it definitely takes time.
Alright.
A lot of the time, it's actually just memorizing the different attacks of enemies. Especially your attacks. Once you get your timings down, you know what you can get away with.
Alright.
People have done level 1 no hit, no death runs on this game, where they have gone through completely naked, no weapons, nothing, level 1, and have received no damage going through the whole game. So that always gives me hope when I'm playing it and I'm struggling not to die, because I think, okay, well, this person did it without taking any hits throughout the whole game while being level 1. So I figure, oh, well, I can only be better, right?
Yep.
Because I have a weapon and armor and stuff. Some of these games, though, it's like, it feels like it's impossible not to get hit by some stuff. And I'm like, how could you possibly do a no-hit speed run of this one? But somehow they do it.
See, for the most part, I worry about trying not to get hit.
Yeah. I think I won't fight the next boss, because how these games are laid out with multiplayer co-op is that you can only summon someone into your world to help you fight the boss. Like, yeah, you can help fight enemies along the way, but once the boss for an area is gone, you can't. So I'm gonna wait. But I really screwed you over last stream, though, accidentally, for not getting that bell. Because you would have, I would be able to summon you nearly infinitely as long as I didn't die.
Yeah.
Because when you ring the bell, you use one madman's knowledge, and even if your summon dies, you can get him back again as long as you don't die.
Okay. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
I'll be right back, I gotta check something.
Alright.
And I'm back.
Alright.
I had to check to make sure that video was uploaded and then turn off the internet for that computer. I'll send the link to that video, by the way, too. It's unlisted.
Okay.
So I have to send the link out because it isn't public.
Alright.
So anything new happening?
Not really, just my session's been, my end, it just feels like one big freaking rerun after another.
That's how it is in the beginning. But if you manage to push through it, it'll get to the point where it won't feel like that. Oh, another thing, when you die, like I said before, and you probably realize, you drop all your experience. Sometimes it'll be on the ground, and it'll be like in a little red puddle with like a red light.
Yeah, I know.
Pick it up.
I think we went over that the last time.
Yeah, and then other times the enemies have it, and they have like glowy eyes.
Mm-hmm. And big surprise, I died again.
You know, a game expects you to die a lot when that's literally part of the game's logic.
Yeah.
It's like at Dark Souls, you're literally undead. You literally cannot fully die. You will always come back. I don't actually know about this game. I don't know what the explanation is in this game. For being a standalone title, I know less about this than anything in either, like, any one of the Dark Souls games. It's really mysterious about what's going on. However, I do have the answers, because I've studied this stuff. I think at this point of the game, if you're looking real hard at like item descriptions and stuff, basically you're a foreigner that came here looking for pale blood. I don't know why we're looking for pale blood or what pale blood is, but we came here, had a blood transfusion, we lost memory of who we were, suddenly we're a hunter, and it's the night of the hunt in the city of Yharnam, and everyone's suddenly turning into beasts. And we have to kill them, because they're beasts.
Kind of like The Walking Dead with beasts.
Yeah.
I know.
All we need now is Rick Grimes. You know, I can't get into those newer episodes of Walking Dead. It's just too much personal drama. The first season was really good, I think. Now it's revolving too much around the characters themselves and not about, like, what are you gonna do about, you know, the zombies? Like, they're kind of like a side thing now.
Yeah, it's like they're fighting two different... Yeah, it's like they're fighting two different freaking wars. Against zombies and against each other.
I mean, that's kind of how it would be with like bandits and stuff, but I don't know if it would go as far as like you have people like, you know, Negan with the bat and all that. And, like, he makes for a cool character, but I mean, it's not really a zombie thing, you know. These are moments where I'm glad not a lot of people watch this, because I'd be getting so much hate right now.
Yeah, I'd probably be getting...
Walking Dead is the best. What are you talking about?
Sure, I'd probably be getting a lot of shit, too, for being a noob.
Well, if you are, then obviously whoever that is has no idea about this game and how it works in the beginning.
Yeah, well, it's not like the PS4 is the only console that I play.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I thought about getting a Switch, however, there's 2 games that I could think of getting from it. Zelda and Mario.
Good choices. Yeah, I guess Skyrim is going to be coming to the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of cool, you know, Skyrim on the go, but at the same time, like, how many times are they going to re-release Skyrim?
They act like this is the single greatest game ever made.
Yeah, well, they're definitely hanging on to it.
Yeah, it's like for crying out fucking loud, just make a new Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Skyrim's been out for 6 years almost.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Skyrim's great and all, but I don't know if it's worth that. I remember doing Merlin, which is the 3rd Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Played Oblivion.
Yeah. Oh my god.
My first introduction to Elder Scrolls was in fact, Oblivion.
Uh-huh.
It was out on the 360, just that at the time, and PC. This is like before PS3 launched.
Yeah.
And then a few years later I discovered Fallout 3.
I love Fallout 3. Like, 4 doesn't seem to have that same feel that 3 did.
Nah. No chance. Don't get me wrong, I love 4 for what it is.
Yeah.
But do I think it's a better game than 3? Nah, I don't know. Mainly because 3 is my first introduction to the Fallouts.
Yeah, nothing out of that vault, and just having this huge world there in front of you. It was always fun to just stick on a good pair of headphones and just get lost in it for a few hours.
You know that's right.
And meanwhile, you have this game where you can do the same thing, except it's a lot different. You can't just stop in a menu mid-combat and heal and use items.
Nah.
How far have you actually gotten killing these guys along the street? Have you managed to, like, kill the mob yet?
Well, the only way I can do that is if I separate them and to the point where I can kill them one at a time.
Mm-hmm. That's basically what you gotta do. Then when you get right in the midst of them, there's the sharpshooters and the dogs and all that, and that's when you need to start, like, timing your rolls and knowing when to attack and when to run.
Okay. I'm calling behind 4 guys right now, heading towards the town square. About to take one out. Shit, I guess Ms. Metallichik tried playing this at one time when it first came out, and she just couldn't get into it. She's a member. She's another member of my YouTube team. I'm just telling everybody that might be watching on your end.
Yep. I always make sure in the description to give a link to your YouTube in each of the streams so people can check you out.
Yeah.
There's actually, in the main game, there's one shield in this game, and it's basically just a bunch of planks strapped together, and it basically in the item description tells you only cowards use this for what shield can stop a beast power. So it's saying, like, yeah, there's no shields in this game, just get a gun. Because people actually complained that there were no shields in the game, like in Dark Souls. So in a patch, the devs actually put in that plank shield, and it's completely useless. Like, it gets knocked aside in one hit, and then you're pretty much dead. So it's like the devs are further insulting those people that need shields in this game, which is hilarious. Well, there's one thing that you don't have to worry about early game. Is basically you don't have enemy players trying to kill you yet. Yet. They'll be after your madman's knowledge, and luckily you don't have any right now. I think it's still too early in the game, and you're still too low level for anyone around the same level to actually come and try and kill you.
Yeah. Okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. I gotta get further in this bitch.
Mm-hmm. If the mob's giving you too much trouble, you can always sprint around it to the fountain area. Because that's much easier to fight through up there.
Yeah.
In every playthrough I see of everyone else playing this game, this area from that lamp that you respawn at all the way to the mob, that's where people spend the most amount of time in the entire series. Is just learning how to deal with that. So I'm not surprised at all that it's taking us this long.
Whoa, it's taking me a hell of a lot longer.
I don't know. I've seen people go on for quite a long time.
Well,
like we're in the second stream now. However, yeah, for viewers enjoying this, yeah, you can totally just spin around. It's just the game's way of saying, hey, there's a lot of enemies here. You can try and kill them if you dare.
yeah.
The one thing you can do is when you get to the fountain area, you can practice on all these enemies around you. You can practice on the ogre or the dogs around the well up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Or the werewolves up on the bridge. In that bridge area up there, that area leads to a lot of different shortcuts you can take back to your lamp. And once you get those shortcuts open, it'll feel so good because then you'll realize you don't have to deal with the mob anymore. Ouchies. Ouchies. These wolves are still giving me trouble. There's some enemies that you just... Sometimes it's luck killing them. It takes a long time to learn how they work.
Okay, I'm gonna have to sprint through this next time around.
You know what? You have up my side of the stream, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. I was gonna say if you did, you could actually see where I am, and you can actually see where the shortcut is. Because up on the bridge, there's those two, you know, those pair of wolves that are up there. They can give you a whole lot of problems, but like on a side path, there's like a building you can go down into, and you open up a lot of doors within that building, and you come out, head up some stairs, and you're right at that closed gate there. That's at that lamp. And when you open that gate, you don't have to deal with any of the mob or the square.
Well, for right now, I'm gonna have to sprint through them.
Mm-hmm. Once you get that madman's knowledge, it'll be a whole lot easier. Because then you can join my world.
Yeah. Oh shit. It's Freddy with a meat cleaver. And we we ended up taking each other out at the same time.
Yeah, another thing that I could give you some good advice on is never try to trade blows with enemies. They will always win.
Yeah.
That's something for Dark Souls where you have like heavy armor and heavy weapons and stuff like that. That's where you can trade damage. But in this game, you always want to be doing damage and not taking any in return.
Thank you for dying. Have a nice day.
That reminds me of Borderlands, where you die and then the respawn system says, "Thank you for dying." That'll be $30,000 for your respawn. Austin and I would always joke about Destiny, how Destiny was just like Borderlands and Halo combined, except without the story and without the humor.
Alright.
So you've been making it past the mob and then just exploring around there, dealing with enemies.
Right now I'm up on the balcony. Trying to get around him. For now, at least.
Yeah, I think for starter game, this area is actually more difficult than most of the areas coming up. I don't know why. I don't know whether the characters are too underleveled for this area, or just the general inexperience of this game. But it felt really tough when I played it for the first time. I was like, wow, this is much harder than Dark Souls. And then the next few areas was like, okay, this isn't too bad.
Well, I've been putting this off, but I think what I really need to do is spend some time on this game when I'm not live streaming. See if I can build my character up that way.
I figure the goal for this stream is to find that madman's knowledge. Because on my channel, I post like Dark Souls and BloodBorne stuff all the time, so people know, they know how I play. They never saw how I got better at the game, but for you, people can see the starting point all the way up to where eventually you'll be near my level.
Well,
if you got it in you, that is.
yeah, well, I guess we're gonna find out. Alright.
I wish I was able to drop summon some blood vials or bullets. Yeah. That was something Austin wanted, because when we would do this co-op, he would run out of blood vials and he would have to farm. Another thing is that when you hit L1 with your weapon, that changes, that you probably know it, that changes your weapon's fight style. One is faster, and then if you hit L1, then it like unfolds, and then it's like longer range and stronger, but it's slower. It's all about finding the right rhythm with some enemies. Like with the villagers, they attack pretty quickly. Sometimes they have a slow charge up, but most of the time they can swipe really fast, so it's always good to have your weapon in a form that swings fast. And other things like the bigger ogres and stuff with the bricks, sometimes it's best to have your weapon at its largest, just so you can stun them. The same with the wolves. So eventually you'll get to the point where you'll know, like, what attacks you can do before they hit you and stuff like that.
Alright.
So in the beginning, it'll feel like you're beating your head against the wall, but subconsciously you're actually learning how to fight them. So what I've been doing is I've just been grinding these enemies to get up more blood vials and stuff like that. Getting used to how BloodBorne works, because I haven't been doing it. Been doing Dark Souls. Also remember you're healing with triangle to use your vials.
I know.
Once I'm able to summon you into my world, I'll be able to show you where you can get this outfit that I found, and also where you can find the madman's knowledge. Actually, you need the madman's knowledge in order for you to have the bell for me to summon you.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. Well, you would have had the bell already if I hadn't told you to summon me, and then I'm like, oh crap, I should have done that.
It happens.
So the one goal that you should be working towards is going up to the bridge and looking around there for the shortcut back to the lantern.
Yeah. That's part of my problem.
Yeah, it's tough to get there. Like right at the get-go, it's really tough to make your way up there. I think that's the hardest run in like the first whole half of the game. It's from that lamp all the way up to the bridge. And people watching my end, they're like, well, you make it look easy. Well, no, trust me. I beat my head against this place for more than one playthrough. This is just experience at work here. And it's way harder than it looks. And I'm still dying. I'm still dying here. I'm not going through here without a scratch. I'm still getting beat up by these guys. Another thing we can do, since it might be a while before you get to a point where you can progress past there, I could get Austin in here. And that could help out. Actually, no, we can't because you need the madman's knowledge. Oh, God. Yeah, that is stupid.
Yeah, pretty lame.
It's like they could expect you to know what to do with it at first, and then once you finally figure out what to do with it, you have enough to spend. Yeah, but anytime you feel like you're not making any progress during the stream.
Well, I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time on this, not just on a live stream, not just live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started live streaming this right when I'm at basically a rookie level.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, yeah, like I only played this twice since I purchased this game, and both those times were broadcast.
Yeah.
I mean, the day after we did our previous co-stream, I ended up doing a live stream of Doom.
Uh-huh.
Just right when I reinstalled the sucker, and I decided to give arcade mode a whirl. Mob waits ahead. No shit, Sherlock!
Some of the messages are hilarious. Like, right next to a ladder, right in front of a ladder, it will say, ladder ahead and stuff like that. Like, the most obvious thing.
Alrighty then!
Another thing you're getting out of the villagers, though, are those vials. So you're getting up probably a good stock of them, and you'll need a lot later in the game.
Yeah. Hell, might as well. Hell, fuck it. Might as well spend the remainder of this live stream collecting vials and shit.
The wolves also drop those blood shards that you can use to upgrade your weapons, too.
Yeah, if I can get to the wolves.
Yeah, I would progress and fight the boss, but the problem is I already beat the cleric beast, so there's only this last boss left in the area, and if I beat him, I wouldn't be able to summon you in this area.
Yeah, but I need a madman's knowledge on top of that goddamn bell.
Yeah.
That is just so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with this game, there's a catch. It's like, what the hell were they thinking?
I think that maybe they were thinking that we wouldn't know at this early stage that you can use it. So eventually you get further on and then you accumulate quite a bit of it. And then it wouldn't be such a problem. However, with my knowledge of what you can use of it, we kind of spent it, and now we're struggling to find more. That's another thing, because enemy players invade you to try and get that. Because if they kill you, they get Madman's knowledge.
Yeah. And what if they do a sequel to this game? Are they gonna have someone called Extremely Pissed Off Man's Knowledge? It might happen.
Everyone was saying that they were going to reveal BloodBorne 2 at E3, but it never happened. I almost think there was so much hype around it being revealed, they decided to not reveal it. I actually think that's what they did. And it's pretty much been confirmed that there's no more Dark Souls coming anytime soon. So if they're doing another BloodBorne, they're definitely working on it. Time comes that it's revealed the world will shatter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because last year they didn't do a brand new Assassin's Creed game, and I wasn't surprised because of the fact that the Assassin's Creed movie came out there that year, and also in the meantime they decided to re-release Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations out on modern systems.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up on all those. And I still gotta finish Syndicate.
I have Black Flag actually. I got it on sale and I've been meaning to start that.
I've actually that was actually the first PS4 game I've ever beaten.
Really?
Well, originally I had the game reserved on 360. And but then what happened was when at literally the morning after Sony had their E3 press conference unveiling the PS4, And they said what they said about not doing the same shit Microsoft was doing with the Xbox One at the time, and the fact that it was going to be $100 cheaper. The next morning, I decided to break down and reserve a PS4, and I moved my reservation of Assassin's Creed 4 from the 360 over to the PS4. Because if I'm going to get a new Assassin's Creed and I'm getting a new toy to play it on, I might as well play it on that instead of on a previous gen console. Yeah, I had to wait 3 more weeks to play it when the game launched on everything else, but you know what? It was worth the wait.
Yeah, I had Battlefield 4 for the PS3. Oh, man, I feel like they made it look bad. Just so if you then upgraded the PS4, it would look so much better. Because Battlefield 3, which was the previous Battlefield, looked and played so much better than 4 on the same system. It was horrible how bad it played on 3.
I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of like they were trying to get people to buy the new shit.
Yeah.
I know it was a few $100 and people didn't want to spend $500 on a new console. And I forgot where I was going with this.
That just broke it real quick.
Well, not until they lowered the price. Hell, I'm just glad that Sony decided to offer up external hard drive support.
Yeah. It seems like that should have been, like, they should have had that ready to go, but it's taken them a while.
Well, better late than never.
Yeah.
All right.
So I actually don't know if there is I don't know if I have to be within 10 levels of you in order to summon you. It's a thing that was in Dark Souls 2 when Austin and I were playing, where I could not summon him because we were too far apart in level. I don't know if that's the case in this game.
Well, all I know is I gotta get a little bit more practice on this, and I just can't do it only during the live streams.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. People do that all the time, where they come back and they've been grinding and they've been practicing.
Well, if I was gonna do an entire like live stream series of just one game coming out, it would have to be Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
Not this one, because it's like I stated earlier, I've been a huge fan of Wolfenstein since the original Wolfenstein 3D from the early to mid 90s, and this new one just looks so damn freaking good. It's as like,
yeah, it does.
You know, yeah. I might as well just do an entire series of live stream on that game alone. This one, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to get a hell of a lot of practice in on and off camera.
Definitely.
Speaking of which, I checked World of Tanks to see if the new chapters for War Stories was out yet. Not yet.
Mm-hmm. I've been planning on doing some World of Tanks games here soon, because actually adding in another season of ranked battles, and that's like the top tier 10 stuff. At the highest tier 10 battles, and you like get awards for stuff like that. I've been wanting to stream that. And they have the new grand for 30 versus 30.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't even gotten into. Like, people are asking, like, is it even real? Like, does this game mode even exist? I haven't gotten into one yet. It's taking a long time to find it.
Alright. I'm about to commit suicide here. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Dude, I literally went right towards the crowd and started taking out, slicing at enemies left and right.
Yeah, I know, that is fun, but then it's like, you don't last long.
Yeah, and you're like, that was stupid!
Another thing you can do if you don't have time to practice on camera sometimes, you could actually take a look at my side of the stream and see what I'm doing.
Alright, well, I'm gonna have to make the time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no replacing the hands-on, but sometimes you can learn a lot from watching someone else too.
Yeah. All right.
This time's finished.
All right. See if I can get these 4 from behind. Time to be stupid!
Maybe they'll get tired of killing you over and over and they'll be like, you know what, we'll just let them through.
Yeah.
You know, in Dark Souls 2, if you kill enemies over and over again, they actually stop respawning.
Too bad the same rule can't apply to this game.
Nope. They actually added to the difficulty of Dark Souls 2 because then you couldn't just grind enemies for hours for like souls and stuff. They'd actually stop respawning and then you'd have to go somewhere else. So they tried to factor that in as some kind of difficulty thing. I felt like though BloodBorne would be more your style because it's all about attacking. And like it sets it up where that if you have a good weapon, you can keep attacking and keep regaining your health if you get hurt.
Well,
Dark Souls is so defensive.
Well, right now I'm just concentrating on getting as many blood vials as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because you can never have too many. Okay, here's the crowd. Let's get ready to rumble! Or not!
Almost. I'll have to look that up if there's actually, if I have to be around the same level as you.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I can't just be like, you know, leveling in the meantime. I don't think that's how it is in this game, because this game, along with Dark Souls 3, has passwords for it. So as long as we have the same password, it'll summon us to each other.
Uh-huh.
In previous games, it was all about, well, you have to be, you know, in the same faction. And then another thing in Dark Souls 2 is, well, you have to have a certain ring on it. You know, it takes up one of your ring slots. In BloodBorne and Dark Souls 3, they're like, okay, yeah, don't have it be a part of the game's lore. Just put a password. I've played and beaten all these games except for Demon Souls, which is supposedly, it's a PS3 exclusive game. And I have yet to play that, and it's supposedly the classic that started this genre of like really challenging action RPG games.
Okay.
There's something about BloodBorne though that I just can't get tired of it. I can get tired of playing the other ones. Like, I may be streaming Dark Souls 2 a lot, but at the same time, once I hit that platinum, I'm not going to be touching it for a long time. Dark Souls 3 was actually the first one I played when it came out last year. But it's gotten to a point now where I have a platinum for it, so why should I do it?
Yeah.
BloodBorne, however, I've had the platinum on it, and I still just don't get tired of playing through it again. It's just that good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally understand for a lot of people, it just they don't get it. It just doesn't click, and then they never try it again. They never get far enough in it where it's like it makes sense to them.
Yeah. I gotta get up and take a piss real quick, so I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Yeah. After these messages. Oh wait, I ain't got any sponsors. What am I saying? Okay, now that I got that out of my system, now it's back to the show.
Now it's back to getting the piss beat out of me. Boy, I'm keeping quiet about a few monstrosities here you'll have to come up against eventually.
Yeah.
The people on my side can see exactly what you're gonna have to deal with here.
Oh, I don't expect this game to get any easier. Trust me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I think it's a bitch now, imagine what will happen when I progress further.
Well, like I said, in this area, they're throwing everything at you, so when you beat this area, you're pretty much ready for, you'll be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah. Where's the kitchen sink when you need it? Well, the bright side is I'm starting to get quite a few blood vials.
Uh-huh. That's always good, because it really breaks the flow of the game when you're like, you keep trying against the boss and then you realize you have no more vials and then you have to go back and grind for them.
Yeah.
That's the one problem that I don't think they really thought that hard about.
Nah. Alright. It's kind of like getting stim packs in Fallout. You can never have enough.
Yeah. Actually, what I can do right now is while I'm in game and streaming, I can actually go and check to see on my web browser here whether or not I have to be within 10 levels. BloodBorne. Co-op requirements. Oh wow, even on the BloodBorne wiki it talks about online etiquette and honor. I thought that was just a community thing.
Obviously not. All right.
I've checked it. It looks like there is no level cap requirement, so I could be at any, well, as long as I'm not like hundreds of levels above you, then it's all right.
Right.
It actually talked about the etiquette where it's like it's not in good honor to gank squad someone by doing a 3 versus 1. You're supposed to honor them with dueling in 1 versus 1 and stuff like that. I can't believe that's on the actual wiki. It's hilarious. It's always a big thing in Dark Souls, or especially BloodBorne. I almost feel like it's more so in BloodBorne, where before you fight another player, you actually bow. There's all this etiquette involved.
Huh, go figure.
Yeah. Dark Souls 3, though, is like in Star Wars, how Ben Kenobi says it's a cesspool of scum and villainy. It's basically what Dark Souls 3 multiplayer is, where it's just squads of 4 people just killing the invader over and over again. Like, there's no chance. Maybe that's what they were trying to do with the multiplayer in BloodBorne, is that they wanted to make it harder for people to invade and join each other, so situations like that wouldn't happen as often.
Yeah.
I've had it where I've invaded someone in Dark Souls 3, and it's just one guy, and he'll go running back to wherever his friends are with their signs down. He'd summon as many as possible, and they'd all come in. And they don't even know how to fight. Like, they know how to press one button to fight, and as long as they're in a group of 3 other people, they can win. But when you separate them, you could just tear them apart. They don't know how to react to you or anything. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Because then they get punished for going through the whole game with 3 other people helping them. Alright, I'm going to head back to the dream, and I'm going to upgrade, and I'm going to level up. When you get that madman's knowledge, you'll be able to level up again.
Alright.
Because the doll, she levels you up, and I'm sure you've seen it. When you head back to the dream, was she like laying down again?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Okay.
Probably
'Cause
should have.
if she's laying down, then that means you don't have the. I don't think she won't level you up basically.
All right.
And it's probably because you don't have Madman's knowledge. But if she's standing, you can level up.
Well, all I know is I'm gonna need to level up.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's difficult about the start of this game is that sometimes you just can't level up. And then you're really stuck. You'll get more stuff also as the game goes on. You'll get more things you can equip that'll make you better.
Yeah.
Different abilities and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another character you'll learn to like in this game is Gearman. He's the guy in the wheelchair that watches over the workshop. He's pretty hilarious. He's a pretty hilarious old man. Oh, also, another thing, if you see these things called specters that are on the ground, they're like little red blood things, and then tombstones rise out with guys praying to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it, they're like red ghosts. Those are other players who have died, and it shows how they died.
Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be a butt ton of me dying again and again and again and again and again.
There's actually a lot in the Hunter's Dream because they're all using weapons that do self-harm, and obviously they used it when they were low health or something and have killed themselves in here. That's something that's scary about some upgrades to your weapons, is that there's gems you can infuse your weapon with eventually later in the game. Some of the gems damage you over time if you're using the weapon. So it might do more damage than any other upgrade you can do. But the problem is, if you have that weapon equipped, you're slowly taking damage. So people are like, hey, this does a whole ton of damage, I'll put it on my weapon. And then while they're leveling up or staying in the dream, suddenly they're dead. This first area will have you seeing a new outfit, new armor, basically. That's pretty much the best statistically in the game, and looks pretty cool. You'll find a new weapon. You'll get a lot of stuff here, and it'll test you to your breaking point. But if you can beat it, you're good for the rest of the game. And you will not believe how good it will feel to be out of here and into a new area.
Yeah, because you keep getting tired of looking at the same environment over and over and over and over.
Yeah. That's part of the charm, because eventually when you get through it, it like enhances everything new.
Well... We interrupt this live stream to bring you this important bulletin. I'm dead. Thank you. Now return to your regular scheduled program. I don't know, I'm just talking out of my ass now.
A lot of people would have broken controllers at where you're at.
Yeah. But I don't feel like having to spend 60 bucks for a new controller over and over and over again. Weapon at risk.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. So your weapon has durability.
Yeah.
So in order to repair it, you just go back to the dream, and inside the workshop there's a desk there that you can repair your weapon at, and it just costs you some echoes.
Okay. Hopefully I got some of those.
That's what I do every once in a while. Sometimes I forget about it, because Dark Souls is all about like resting at bonfires, and then it's okay, and it's all repaired. But in this, it's a little bit more physical, where it's like, yeah, you gotta repair it yourself.
This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh.
It's also a storage chest where you can see how many blood vials you've accumulated, because it'll transfer over into that storage.
All right.
Should it please you?
God damn it, not enough blood echoes.
What you can do is, if you have any of those cold blood dews in your inventory, you can use those to get you some.
Yeah. What do you know? I learn something new every day.
Yep. Yeah, if your weapon gets at risk, it'll also do less damage too.
Yeah. I just don't want the thing to break. Like in Fallout.
I think when it breaks, it's just useless, and then you gotta repair it for like more echoes. But in Dark Souls, if it breaks, you gotta take it to a blacksmith. So it's actually a monumentous thing when a weapon breaks in Dark Souls.
Alright. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a few. Okay, that didn't work out well. But I got another idea.
Another thing that you could also practice on, like, a single villager at a time is pairing with your pistol. When you're locked onto them and they're just about ready to hit you with an attack, you shoot them and then they stagger and they make kind of a ring noise. And that's when you go in and you use R1, the standard attack on them. But you gotta be like real close.
Yeah.
And that does a visceral.
Dab, dab, dab. Alrighty then.
And a lot of the times, I've seen it where people absolutely destroy even bosses just by parrying them with the gun. Because you can actually parry bosses too.
Uh-huh.
When you get up to the level and progress where you want to take on the cleric beast again, there's actually a way you can visceral him too.
Right. Two. $288.
Another thing is that you can sneak up on enemies by slowly walking up behind them.
Well, what I'm doing right now is kind of going in and out of the hunter's stream and waiting for the first 3 enemies that are easy to take out to keep respawning. Just to try to easily get the number of HP that I need to fix my weapon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm basically taking this chicken shit way out.
That's actually a really effective means of doing that, because it's actually much better to do in Dark Souls, because all you do is sit down at a bonfire and all the enemies respawn.
Yeah, because
I don't like how it's in this one, where it's like you gotta head back to the hub place.
Yeah, because if I go back to... If I try to kill more enemies in that crowd to just try to get just to get more HP, then I'm gonna lose it in the process. So I'm gonna keep dying over and over again.
This axe is actually a really good weapon for crowds.
Alright, I got more than enough. Let's get this weapon fixed.
And if you feel maybe you're not doing enough damage or whatever with your weapon, instead of upgrading it, you could check out the vendor at the Dream for another weapon.
Well, this might be a good idea to do it this way if I want to get a bunch to upgrade my weapon as well.
Uh-huh.
That or going in the crowd, taking out a few enemies, and then running like hell.
this axe is really good for crowds, because if I hold R2, it goes into like a double spin slash, and it takes out multiple enemies and knocks them down.
Yeah.
The saw cleaver is really good for like a single enemy. And you can, if it's unfolded, you can like hit several in a row too. The cane is also really good for player versus player, because it stacks up a lot of damage because it's so quick, and then it turns into a whip. And with that whip, you can actually hit multiple people at the same time.
Well, I'm about to take the chicken shit way out into fortifying this weapon.
Well, that'll help anyways, no matter what.
Well, yeah. What? Fortifying the weapon or taking the chicken shit way out to do it?
Both. It'll help either way.
Yeah. So here we go again.
There's a Kirk hammer that they're also selling too, which is a long sword that turns into a giant great hammer.
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't have enough to get another weapon. And I guess sometimes in life, you gotta play the the hand you were dealt with. Something like that. $245. I think that might be enough.
Fortifying gets more difficult the more you do it, because it requires more each time.
Yeah.
And eventually it'll get to a point where it'll require more and more higher quality stones.
Well, in this case, every little bit helps.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. Like, later on in the game, if you have like a maxed upgraded weapon, and you find like a really good weapon that's unupgraded, usually the new unupgraded one just barely does any damage at all, just because you're so used to your weapon that's been already upgraded.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna have to get at least up to 500. Lovely. Knight's wig. Okay, are there knights in here that are cross-dressers as well?
Yeah, those
possibly
are some
RuPaul's
knights
ancestors? Heavily armored drag queens. Who would have thought?
They may seem like drag queens, but if you fight them later on in the game, you will regret it. Austin and I have rage quitted at one of those guys.
Okay, I should probably shut my big mouth now.
Yeah, they're known as the Canehurst Knights, and they are definitely some tricky hunters you gotta watch out for.
Good to know.
Not all enemies in this game are beasts, and I'd rather face the beast than some of those hunters out there.
But chicken shit.
Yeah, even though fortifying like one time with a weapon seems like it doesn't do that much more damage,
Yeah.
if it takes one less swing against an enemy to kill them, that's such a huge advantage.
Well, right now I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah. The difference between an enemy taking 2 hits versus an enemy taking 1 hit is huge, because if you can 1 hit an enemy, you're on to the next, or you can avoid the next attack. You don't have to spend any more time dealing with them. And that's a big thing in this game.
Yay! Another blood vial!
Also, the ogre behind the gate drops a lot of blood vials, too.
Damn. The Red Cross would love him.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny that you say that, because basically this whole city is run by a twisted Red Cross.
Alright. See if that does any good. Blood echoes required. Bloodstone. Required bloodstone shard. Oh shit! I can't do anything now.
Do you have? You don't have enough shards?
Obviously not. Okay, so I've been wasting my time for nothing. Great!
Yeah, you'll find shards that are, you know, on the items around, and then of course on larger enemies. So there's definitely, they're not in limited stock.
Yeah.
I think even if you manage to find one, whatever you find out here in the city, you can actually buy more of at the vendor there in the green.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that vendor sells them though. It'll get to a point where you have so much madman's knowledge, you actually spend the knowledge at a vendor to get more stuff.
Blood vial. Bullets.
Guns, for the most part in this game, are all about just parrying people. But there is actually a skill that you level up called Blood Tinge that does more damage with firearms. And there are firearms that are ridiculous and that do a lot of damage if you level your character right.
Yeah. Okay! I'm going to attempt to get myself massacred. You can try this at home. You can be just like me!
Purchase BloodBorne Game of the Year edition now, and you can be just like him.
Yeah! See, I told you I was going to get myself massacred. But you didn't want to believe me!
Something died, and I didn't kill it. I just got echoes for some reason.
Yeah, something did die. It was me! Oh, wait, you're talking about a second ago.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, that's weird. I always wonder that. That happens sometimes where it's like I suddenly just get XP for no reason. And it's like, well, who died?
I'm gonna run like a chicken shit now.
I'm actually going to return to the dream and I'm going to see if there's any possible way you could get Madman's knowledge if they sell it or something.
Blood vial. Could ever have too many of those.
Yep.
Alright.
If anything, spend your experience on purchasing blood vials too.
Yeah. Or just do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're selling any, so I'm just gonna spend a lot on blood vials. Alright, well, unfortunately for this one, I actually have to get going.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, for my end, I'm probably gonna just, I'll probably end up live streaming something other than this sometime this week. Possibly, I'll probably be playing like Grand Theft Auto Online, doing some start races, maybe on Thursday. Haven't fully decided yet. But I just like, but anyway, I'd say, thanks for tuning in. To this edition of G.W.O Live, and thank you, Harkins from K&A Gamers, for joining me this time around.
No problem.
And until next time, we will see you later.